Good morning and good afternoon to everyone who is participating in today's conference about Russia and ASEAN in the regional dynamic. We are happy to see our friends and colleagues from the ASEAN Moscow Committee. We are happy to welcome participants from Southeast Asia and from very diverse Russian universities and think tanks. My name is Ekaterina Koldunova. We are now online and we are live on YouTube. And we are expecting a day of very productive discussions. It seems to be not very fun to transfer all our activities online. So we decided to devise a number of very interesting and interactive activities. And today's conference is just a start of a very innovative initiative by our students of Southeast Asia Studies Club, who are based in various universities in Moscow. And after today's conference, we are to hold the online roundtable about ASEAN-Russia cultural and youth diplomacy in times of COVID. On Wednesday, there will be an online meeting with MGIMO and other university graduates who are already professionals, young professionals working or have been working or just returned from Southeast Asian region, and they will share their experience with their younger colleagues. On Thursday, there will be a book club meeting, and the book club members will discuss the book The Sympathizer by Viet Thanh Nguyen, a Vietnamese author. And there will be also a book presentation, Singapore Guidebook by Dr. Victor Pogadaev. And on Friday, we will have more fun with the language master classes in Vietnamese, Indonesian, Thai, Tagalog, and Russian for those who are non-native Russian speakers. And so far, we have received about 5 video postcards from our friends from different countries of Southeast Asia who are sending their regards and who are to show their proficiency in Russian. So to warm up a little bit, all us who are interested in Russia-ASEAN relations, we propose this ASEAN Week 2020, the 2020 edition. A couple of words about today's conference. There will be more than 20 speakers who will present both in Russian and in English, depending on which language is more comfortable for them to deliver their ideas. And the diversity of papers submitted is really huge because we are aiming at covering all range of topics, starting from general regional dynamics, regional trends, and moving towards more particular and specific issues of Russia-ASEAN relations, Russia's relations with particular countries of the region, and finally focusing on the very recent dynamics which is going on in separate ASEAN member states. So today with us are several distinguished speakers. Ambassador Ivanov, who is representing Russia in ASEAN, Ambassador Ngo, Ambassador of Vietnam to the Russian Federation, and Ambassador Haini Hashim of Brunei to Russian Federation. There are also ambassadors and members of the diplomatic corps who are participating. But in the framework of the opening ceremony, we will be very much welcoming Ambassador Ngo to share his ideas as the representative of Vietnam, the country which is about to finish its chairmanship in ASEAN. And then we will welcome Ambassador Haini Hashim, ambassador of the country which will be assuming the ASEAN chairmanship in the coming year. We are expecting Vice Rector Artyom Malgin to join us after he will finish his previous meeting. But meanwhile, let me pass the screen, as they now say, to His Excellency Ambassador Alexander Ivanov, who was so kind to find several minutes to join us despite his very busy schedule. Ambassador Ivanov, please, you are welcome to say a couple of words to all of us.
Thank you. Thank you very much, dear colleagues, Excellency Ambassador Godukman, Excellency Ambassador Hani Hashim. I'm extremely happy to see you again. Dear colleagues, first of all, I would like to express my appreciation to the ASEAN Centre for organizing the conference. It is very important to continue such discussions despite the difficult situation with the pandemic. This year, we marked 10th anniversary of the ASEAN Centre in MGIMO. I would like to congratulate Dr. Sumsky and his colleagues with this very important event and commend the leadership of MGIMO for the constant support to the center. All these years, the ASEAN Centre has been contributing a lot in promoting our partnership with ASEAN, building people-to-people contacts, and strengthening the dialogue between ASEAN and Russia academia and students. I'm very pleased to see so many participants today, which means that the interest to ASEAN in Russia is growing. It is not a surprise, considering that the Asia-Pacific and Southeast Asia are gaining more and more weight in international affairs. The region used to be the driver of the global economic growth before the pandemic, and there is a lot of hope that it will lead the post-COVID-19 recovery. Of course, all of you know about difficult situation in the Asia-Pacific, including such issues as the growing rivalry between the US and China. Definitely, it further complicates such unresolved problems like Korean Peninsula settlement and South China Sea territorial disputes. We also notice the growing interest to the Asia-Pacific on the part of the European Union, UK, France, Germany, Italy, Canada, and other Western countries. As it was stated during the recent meeting of the network of ASEAN-Russia think tanks, the region is becoming more and more overcrowded. We can see the efforts, among others, to form such new closed schemes like Quad and Quad Plus, which promote the Indo-Pacific agenda and attempt to substitute international law with the so-called rules-based order. As a result, in my personal view, the previous fragile balance built by ASEAN in the region is slowly but steadily being replaced by what I call strategic uncertainty or strategic ambiguity. Everybody knows about the acute problems in relations between Russia and the USA, Russia and the European Union, China and the United States. Everybody knows it because the media publishes the reports about these events every day. In comparison, it may seem that here in the Asia Pacific, everything is cool and we have no problems. As a direct participant of foreign policy efforts of my country in this region, I can assure you, dear colleagues, that it is not so, unfortunately. The turbulence in the world politics directly affects the Asia Pacific. We have very hot debates here But these debates are going on behind closed diplomatic doors. And that is very good because, well, our differences, and there are differences, are not directly influencing the public opinion of our countries. I can give you just one example. To agree on the text of 5 leaders' statements of the recent East Asia Summit, we, ambassadors and permanent representatives in Jakarta, spent around 200 hours at the negotiating table. Just this fact demonstrates how difficult sometimes our discussions are going on. But, well, what we have here, a very important asset is, and this asset is ASEAN centrality in the Asia Pacific. And Russia, not in words, but in deeds, support this ASEAN centrality in the region, which is central to the world affairs in the 21st century. And what is the role of Russia in this regional dynamics? Russian President Vladimir Putin underlined during the online East Asia Summit in November that our nations must work together in concert on preserving peace and stability in the Asia Pacific. Unite in the face of the emerging challenges to show political will for cooperation in the interests of sustainable development. This message is the essence of the Russian long-term strategy in the region. We are certain that evolving regional architecture should be built upon ASEAN-led mechanisms and based on norms and principles of international law, equality, and mutual benefit. Our country will continue to play a stabilizing role in the regional affairs. And this stabilizing role is recognized by our friends, by our ASEAN friends. On 17 June this year, we organized the special ASEAN-Russia Foreign Ministers meeting on COVID-19. Our ministers, in their joint statement, reaffirmed commitment to maintain a politically peaceful and stable region where national security cannot be ensured at the expense of security of others. Russia and ASEAN agreed to enhance communication and interaction between agencies responsible for prevention and control of infectious diseases to jointly combat COVID-19. We continue to further strengthen the dialogue between ASEAN and the Euro-Asian Economic Union, as well as Shanghai Cooperation Organization, as integral parts of the greater Euro-Asian partnership, with a view to ensure peace, stability, and create new opportunities for the economic development and stable growth in our common region. The common agenda covers fight against terrorism and other threats, long-term resilience, financial stability, food security, restored connectivity and supply chains, open markets, digital economy, and innovations. Russia shares with our ASEAN colleagues high-tech solutions to improve people's lives in such areas as smart cities, high-tech solutions in agriculture, digital economy, and others. Just recently, the ASEAN-Russia Business Council proposed to our ASEAN partners to organize an ASEAN-Russia Year of Science, Technology, and Industrial Cooperation in the year of 2022. As a strategic partner of ASEAN, Russia contributes to ASEAN community building efforts and assists ASEAN in balancing outside pressure and rivalry. Next year is of special importance for the ASEAN-Russia Dialogue Partnership. We're going to celebrate its 25th anniversary. The joint high-level meetings and events will assess our achievements for the past 25 years and give us a new impetus and directions for future cooperation. I hope that ASEAN Centre in MGIMO will also contribute to this anniversary. I would like to wish all the participants of this conference a very productive discussion and enrichment of our thoughts about our present cooperation and the future of our nations. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, thank you for pointing out at the most hot points and urgent issues of the regional dynamics. And my sincere hope is that the positive development of our relations as well as the regional relations will finally prevail. And my hope rests upon the wish to enable stronger people-to-people contacts and enhance the positive will of our peoples of Russia and Southeast Asian nations. And just to illustrate our very moderate contribution to enhancing this common positive will is to say that we have more than 200 registered participants for today's event. And this is to support your point about the rising interest in our relations. And I think this is just one of the elements of this rising interest. We in ASEAN Centre and MGIMO University are working primarily with younger people. And this work shows us that the interest is huge. The desire and will is really huge. And I hope that joining our efforts, we will be able to provide the working places, the expert analysis, the impetus for all our younger colleagues to find their proper place in the future development of Russia and ASEAN relations. At this moment, let me pass the screen to Ambassador Ngo Dic Mang of Socialist Republic of Vietnam in the Russian Federation. Ambassador, please, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Ambassador and Professor Gundunova for inviting me, and the ASEAN Centre for inviting me to take part in this very important conference today. So good morning, everyone, and good afternoon for those who are in Asia, because I saw Ambassador Ivanov who are in Jakarta, and now I think this is almost 3 p.m. in Jakarta. And my talk today is about the chairmanship of Vietnamese government in 2020 in this year. And second part is I'm going to speak about the Russian-ASEAN ties and cooperations, but I think that second part of my speech is much easier because I have heard the very comprehensive report and speech of Ambassador Ivanov, who give us very comprehensive, very up-to-date the state of the relationship between the ASEAN and Russia. But anyway, I want to move on, continue and to speak a little bit about the Vietnamese chairmanship this year. So first of all, you know that Vietnam championships in this year is in the very difficult situation. This is, you know that the pandemics, COVID-19 outbreaks, and so far we have made great efforts and innovations to fulfill its our ASEAN Championship 2020. During the year, Vietnam has conducted many activities and gained great achievements as follows. Firstly, Vietnam has proactively proposed and implemented many practical and timely initiatives, including the establishment of the ASEAN Community Fund to respond to COVID-19, the ASEAN Emergency Medical Supply Reserve, and strategic framework for responding to medical emergencies, and a regional center for responding to medical emergencies and diseases. These proposals and and initiatives not only focused on integrated resources of the whole bloc and partners, surely timely and effective response to COVID-19 pandemic situation, but also prepare us to deal with epidemics and catastrophes in future. Secondly, Vietnam has continued to promote the implementation of the ASEAN Community Vision 2025 and Vision 2045, addressing the fundamental, core, and long-term issues of the region, including the release of the midterm review report on the ASEAN Community Vision 2025 on 3 pillars, namely political, security, economic, and social concern community. ASEAN Connectivity Master Plan 2025, the announcement of the ASEAN Overall Recovery Framework, and implementation plan promote restoration of regional and global supply chains. Thirdly, Vietnam is strongly committed to her partners and has affirmed the central role of ASEAN in the region structure by tightening and deepening relations and achieving the support of all partners. ASEAN leaders have worked together with their partners to promote and sign the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership RCEP within the framework of the 47 ASEAN Summit in November 2020 in Hanoi. Regarding Russian-ASEAN strategic partnerships, as rightly said Ambassador Ivanov, ASEAN and Russia have shared the fundamental common interests and are facing new comprehensive challenges in the region and around the world. Russia has played an important role in implementing many activities, including promoting political dialogues, actively participating in cooperation mechanisms with the central role of ASEAN, such as Russian-ASEAN Dialogue Partnership, ASEAN Defense Ministers meetings, and dialogue partner countries, Conference East Asia Summit, ASEAN Regional Forum, annual meetings between foreign ministers. In the global context influenced by the COVID-19 epidemics, ASEAN and Russia has maintained the key directions of cooperation relations to develop cooperation within the framework of multilateral mechanism with the leading role of ASEAN. On the basis of common views, ASEAN and Russia will continue to coordinate to resolve both traditional and new security challenges, such as international terrorism, transnational crime, information technology threats, drug trafficking, maritime security, etc. At this very important juncture, I think we need to work together to promote cooperation in the fields of energy, industry, high technology, financial services, agriculture, and people exchange. Both sides have affirmed consistent policies to work together to promote multifaceted relations and partners in the Asia-Pacific region and around the world. Once again, I'd like to wish our conference, as well as the ASEAN Centre Week, a great success. And I wish you all the best of luck and happiness. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Apologies for the technical disruptancy, and thank you very much, Ambassador, and congratulations with a very productive year in ASEAN RCEP conclusion, despite all the turbulence. And can you hear me well? And congratulations on a number of high-level meetings, both ASEAN-wide and in the framework of ASEAN relations with its dialogue partners. Now let me pass the screen to His Excellency Ambassador Haini Hashim, Ambassador of Brunei Darussalam to the Russian Federation. Brunei will be assuming the ASEAN chairmanship, and we're expecting a productive year of cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ekaterina Koldunova. And good morning to all your excellencies, colleagues, and to all participants to this international conference on Russia and ASEAN in the regional dynamics. I would also like to thank the ASEAN Centre MGIMO for inviting me to deliver welcoming remarks for this important conference. A lot of subjects has been covered before me by my colleagues on ASEAN and its relation with Russia as our strategic partner. Therefore, let me narrow down my remarks to our next ASEAN Championship under Brunei Darussalam. As chair in 2021, Brunei Darussalam will promote 3 fundamental areas inspired by ASEAN's long history of developments. First, caring for our people and each other's well-being. Second, preparing for future opportunities and challenges. Third, prospering together as a united region. It is in this spirit that Brunei Darussalam theme for its chairmanship next year will be "We care, we prepare, we prosper." We believe these 3 fundamental areas will strengthen ASEAN solidarity and reinforce ASEAN centrality. Moreover, it will accelerate our efforts to recover from the pandemic and realize our ambitions of an inclusive ASEAN community. Together, ASEAN have built a community that has experienced economic development, social progress, and important advancements such as in education and healthcare that raise the standard of living for the people in the region. At the same time, Brunei Darussalam will pursue initiatives that can directly benefit the people of ASEAN, build together resilience against future uncertainties, and enable sustainable prosperity for all. In 2021, ASEAN will continue to strengthen its emergency preparedness and response, enhance partnership with external partners for mutual benefits, and cooperate collectively to address the socio-economic concern of the people. Over the years, the role of ASEAN has been vital to collectively overcome challenges, ranging from the global financial crisis to climate change and natural disaster. Today, ASEAN's experience and its preparedness has helped us to confront the COVID-19 pandemic. We are determined to contain the spread of the virus as well as to swiftly and comprehensively address the socio-economic impacts on our countries. In this regard, focus has been placed on speedy recovery, which will build the region back stronger than ever by ensuring resilience to any future uncertainties that may arise. In doing so, ASEAN is also enhancing cooperation with existing partners, as well as seeking out new partnerships for long-term peace, stability, and prosperity in Southeast Asia and beyond. To this end, the support and contribution of our dialogue partners are important. We will therefore keep working with our partners through various ASEAN-led mechanisms and uphold multilateralism and the rule of law. Russia is an important strategic partner and good friend of ASEAN. As incoming chair of ASEAN, Brunei Darussalam welcomes and look forward to Russia's support and engagement in 2021. During this period, ASEAN and Russia have maintained dialogue and undertaken some joint activities to mitigate the pandemic. Firstly, ASEAN and Russia held a special foreign ministers meeting on coronavirus disease via video conference in June 2020. This meeting produced a statement that shows a commitment to encourage stronger ASEAN-Russia partnership to fight against COVID-19. Several points were stated in the statement, including Russia's support for the formation of COVID-19 ASEAN Response Fund and regional reserve of medical supplies through a joint pandemic countermeasure project using the available financial fund of the ASEAN-Russia partnership. Secondly, the Russian Ministry of Economic Development also organized an online seminar, Russia-ASEAN Joint Response to the Coronavirus Outbreak in September 2020, to allow representatives to exchange views and share experience on best practice. Apart from dialogue, ASEAN and Russia have also undertaken some joint activities to mitigate the COVID-19 pandemic, such as tabletop exercise in the framework of ASEAN Centre for Military Medicine, paramedic training to handle the pandemic, and Russia initiative for the EAS leader's statement on strengthening collective capacity in epidemic prevention and response. Thank you very much for your attention, and Brunei Darussalam is looking forward to work with all of you. Thank you.
Your Excellency, thank you very much. And I'm just to note that in my personal opinion, Russia is ready to help in all three areas you have indicated for Brunei's chairmanship, and healthcare and reaction to the new diseases and also to the old diseases is a part of long-standing cooperation process between Russia and ASEAN. Without much further ado, let me pass the floor to Dr. Viktor Sumsky, Director of ASEAN Centre, for his welcoming and at the same time concluding remarks for this ceremony of opening of the conference. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ekaterina. And thank you very much, Excellencies, colleagues and friends, all of you, for being with us here today and for the opportunity to listen to what you wanted to share with us. I think this was anything but just a ceremonial part of the meeting. Actually, lots of ideas and intellectual inputs that will make this conference more substantial. Let me tell you that in many ways, preparations for an online event are very much like preparations for the live event, in the sense that you do a lot of networking, communications with lots of people, setting up all these panels and making sure that everything happens on time and so on and so forth. The only difference is that we are communicating online, not live. Otherwise, I would say that this year, the ASEAN Centre staff had to go even beyond the norms of dedication, which it has already established for itself in organizing events like this. And we see the preliminary result, great attendance from not just MGIMO or a couple of other Moscow universities, but from other important educational institutions of Russia. Great attendance from the region. We never had such an international composition of speakers on our traditional end-of-the-year conferences dedicated to Russia and ASEAN as we see now. So from this point of view, I think we are in for a really interesting event. And if time permits, please be free to stay with us for a longer time, especially for session 2, which will be conducted in English, and where there will be quite a number of participants from the region. Otherwise, tempted as I am to enter into a substantial conversation with you based on the spots that you have raised, I will stop here because we are already intruding into the time dedicated to session 1. Thank you very much indeed. And I give the floor back to Dr. Ekaterina.
Thank you. And let me once again express our sincere gratitude to those all of you who have found time in your busy schedules to join us, to welcome our participants. And please mind that these are not just two of us sitting here in front of the camera, but also behind the camera, our youth activists from Southeast Asia Club, whose idea actually this ASEAN Week is. And that's the youth initiative. And we're just helping. We're helping staff here to let our younger colleagues be active and be professional in their discussions. And now we're moving to session number 1, which will be conducted in Russian. But session 2 will be in English, as Dr. Victor said. And then there will be session 3, also conducted in Russian. And this is just a start. The whole week, you are welcome to join all the events of the ASEAN Week. Tomorrow's roundtable will be conducted in English, and this might be also an interesting opportunity for the embassy staff, for our colleagues and friends from the region. Now, let me